Hey everybody, we're just in the warm-up here. I'm going to calibrate my camera angle a little bit here. Western Wolves visiting your Western Flames. Battle of the Westerns today. I'll get the camera calibrated, then I'm going to send you back to our sponsor reel. Okay, we're still a little too high here. Alright, we got the scoreboard at this end. Let's make sure we get all the action here. Alright, right at the boards, that's good. But we lose the scoreboard. Right there, okay. We've got the scoreboard on the screen, so it's not as big a deal if you can't see the scoreboard. Want to see the action. Alright, I think we're in pretty good shape for our camera angle. And I will put you back on mute, and I will join you just before the start of the game. Alright, folks online, not sure how many are watching yet, but welcome to today's broadcast with High Button Sports. We are at the Grant Harvey Center here in Fredericton. My name is Daryl. And we have the PEI Western Wolves here today facing the Western Flames, Battle of the Westerns. And I'm going to I see the scoreboard shows the Subway Select still. I'm not sure why that is. I'll see if I can figure that out. I've changed it. There we go. Now we have the right logo up on the scoreboard. Let's get 20 minutes on the clock here. We're at the Grant Harvey Center here in Fredericton. These two teams will play back-to-back games. Game 1 right now and Game 2 tomorrow right back here, 11 o'clock a.m. at the Grant Harvey Center. And it is loud to start the game, hard to talk over, but all right, here we go. Flames get the puck into the Wolves zone to start here. We'll see if we can figure out who our starting goalies are at both ends. Flames, shot here from Feltmate. It's knocked out in front. Wolves are going to chip it into the neutral zone. Into the Flame zone, cross ice. Battle along the boards. A little bit of a blind spot here with a couple sponsor banners right in front of the bench. Little scrums right there, I can't really see. Wolves regrouping in their own end. Shot attempt by the Wolves. It's broken up. Play back into the Wolves zone. Backhanded towards the blue line. Cook. She pulled it in the neutral zone, so she had to retreat. Govan's going to send that down deep now. Battling along the boards, down in the corner. Two Flames, Cook and Johnstone. Wolves come out with it. Held in by Smith. Now Johnstone wraps it down around the boards. Wolves are going to get there first, but there's a pinch coming. Gets past Cook. Here come the Wolves. They carry it off to the corner. Back to the point. Soft shot. Doesn't make its way through. And now we can talk about the goalies. Yeomans covers that up. So she's obviously the starting goalie for the Flames today. And down at the other end, I see number 1, Peyton. Oh, I know I'm not going to do her name well. Peyton Crozier. I made a point to go talk to a couple of the PEI girls before the game because there was a couple names that I wasn't sure of. And even though they told me, I'm probably still going to get them wrong. So, sorry to the Western Wolves girls who I went and spoke to, and they clarified what the pronunciation of their names is, and I might still do it wrong. Shot, that hits the shin pads of Kimball. Recovered by Nelson. Attempt to bring it in the neutral zone. Now Daigle. Daigle fires it up to the neutral zone. Picked up by Nelson. Nelson's going to dump it in. That's going to send the Flames for a change. We're at 17-17 in the first period. Not much to speak of here so far. A little bit of back and forth action. Lawrence, Feltmate, battling along the wall here. Makes his way to the neutral zone. Icing's called. Gauvin's chasing that back. But icing's going to be the call. Exactly 17 minutes of the first period. No score here. I'll see if I can get this clock back lined up. Shot attempt. That hits a stick. Flutters back. Now Feltmate at the blue line. Backhands it into the slot. Another shot attempt by Lawrence. That's blocked. There we go. Shot from the point, and the Flames score first. 16:48 of the first period, and your Flames are up 1-0. I think it's Gauvin. All right, face off back at center ice. Pretty sure the goal was Gauvin. I'll double check when they announce that, or I'll check online here as they post the box score. Here comes Cook. Cook into the Wolves zone. Centering pass misses. Gauvin again at the blue line. Now Cook backhands it. So it is Gauvin unassisted is the official call of the goal. And your Flames lead 1-0. Both of these teams on 3-game losing streaks. So one thing we know for sure is someone's going to end a losing streak here today. They both last won back on October 4th, with the league taking a break on the Thanksgiving weekend. 15:45 here at the first period. Nelson's pinned along the boards. Your Flames lead 1-0. Daigle flicks it into the corner. Sent back to the blue line. Boursier keeps it in, but the Wolves are going to recover. Puck dumped into the Flame zone. No icing. Daigle grabs it. Tries backhanding along the wall, but it's held in. Now Clara Smith. She's knocked off the puck, but now she gets it up the left wing. Tries to chip it out. Doesn't get it out. Now it's into the neutral zone. Pino, for the Wolves, dumps it into the Flame zone. Daigle recovers. Daigle wraps it around the left side to Smith. Smith can't get it past the defender. Bumps off Nelson's skate. Still in the Flame zone. Puck bobbling all around here. Dumped down in the corner. Nelson's going to recover it. Nelson up the left side. She tries chipping it up the wall. Gets into the neutral zone. Puck contested here. Eason trying to find it. She can't. And the Wolves will send it back into the Flame zone. 14:21 in the first period. Flames leading 1-0 off the Gauvin goal. Here's Lawrence. Lawrence tries pushing it ahead. She's working mostly alone here. Pinned along the boards. Now she gets some help from Dooland. Dooland carries it into the corner. Dooland behind the net. She still got it. Now Folks and Dooland in the corner trying to fish it out. Wolves come out with it. Chip it up to the left side. Held in at the blue line by Lawrence. Shot towards the net. She misses wide left. Now Dooland centers it. Shot. That's deflected to the corner. Shot by Folks there. Puck down in the corner for Dooland. Dooland. Lawrence, from a sharp angle, hits the side of the net. Still bobbling puck. Over to the sidewall. Now Lawrence. Lawrence dumps it down into the corner, but nobody's there. And the Wolves get it into the neutral zone. Good span here without a whistle. Now we finally have one. 13-13 of the first period. And the Flames lead 1-0. And I updated the scoreboard to reflect that. Kimball gets it off the one draw by the Flames. Sends it down to the corner. Johnstone puts pressure on it. Here come the Wolves. Here's Mills. Mills sends it up the right side. Kimball tries to intercept it, but she gets through. Yeomans will hang on to that. And we're going to have a whistle to the right side of Yeomans. Who's going to take that? We have Lawrence coming out. Lawrence is going to take that. Lawrence, the right-hand shot. Take that face off. Here comes the puck into the neutral zone. Lawrence has Dooland. Someone lost a stick there. Looks like Dooland lost a stick. Offside signals on the Flames. That's waved off. Puck along the wall. Lawrence bumps into Dooland. And here comes Lawrence. Shot attempt. That's knocked off to the corner. Wrap around to Feltmate. She gets it in on the right-hand side. Folks pushes it down further deep. Here comes Feltmate with a pinch. And it's going to make its way to the neutral zone, recovered by Daigle. Daigle in the neutral zone. Daigle by herself, couple Flames going for a change. She takes a shot. That's deflected off to the side by Crozier. Daigle goes cross ice to her partner. Up to the neutral zone with Smith. Smith dumps it down, played by the goalie. Wrapped up the left-hand side. Some of these numbers I can't quite see. Their jerseys a little scrunched up. 11:29 now of the first period. Flames leading 1-0 off the Gauvin goal. Puck sent into the Wolves zone. Chipped back out into the neutral zone. Here's Gauvin. Gauvin, she's taken down. No arm up on the play. Rebound right in front. Played by McPherson, but Yeomans knocks it off. Another shot right on Yeomans. Can't tell what that number is. Looks like 10. I think it was Thomas got that shot right in tight. Another one right in on Yeomans. Shield covered up. 10:49. First period. Then we'll have a face-off to the right of Yeomans. Looks like Johnstone is going to take it. Puck into the Wolves zone. In tight was Dooland. I'll run a couple seconds off the clock here. I forgot to start that. 10:37 of the first period. Face off to the right of Crozier. Johnstone in to take it. Puck wrapped around the zone, in the Wolves zone, held in by Kimball. Kimball fires it towards the net. Cook got a stick on it, but played off harmlessly to the corner. Kimball again gets a stick on it at the blue line. Can't hold it in, though. Now Cook in the neutral zone. Cook's going to dump it. And that's going to be picked up by McQuegan. And that's one of those names I went and asked the girls. The Wolves. And I think I probably still got it wrong. So, sorry to McGuigan. Shot from the slot. Wolves control in the corner. Send it down low. Johnstone puts pressure on it. Back out to the point. Shot from the point. Doesn't make its way through all the traffic. Cook has it on the right-hand side. Tries getting it to the blue line. Wolves dump it back in. That's going to be picked up by Nelson. Wolves have backed off, going for a line change. Nelson goes cross ice to Kimball. Kimball to Folks. Folks puts it into the neutral zone. She goes for a line change. 9:28 in the first period. Your Flames leading 1-0 and doing a bunch of things here at once. I was informed my scoreboard says it's the third period. It is indeed not the third period. It is the first period, and I will correct that here as soon as I get a chance. Folks, team captain, sends it back to the blue line to Feltmate, assistant captain. Throws it towards the net, tied up in the slot. Scramble for the puck, Wolves come out with it. Shot attempt, Yeomans sends it off to the corner. Shots on goal showing 7-7. Now 8-7 in favor of the Wolves. Mentioned earlier that both of these teams have lost 3 in a row. Each last winning on October 4th, on the Saturday before the Thanksgiving break. So one thing is for sure is that one of these teams will leave today having broken that streak. Here's Lawrence, pushes it into the center, and the Flames go for a line change. We're now 8:15 of the first period. Flames leading 1-0. First period, not like third period, like my scoreboard shows. Puck deep into the Flames zone. Sent up the right-hand side to Eason. In the neutral zone, now Smith. Smith sends it back to the blue line for help. Chipped to forward. Broken up by Daigle in the neutral zone. Wolves will backhand that into the zone. It's going to be picked up by Boursier. Boursier tries pushing it up the right-hand side, and that's stopped. Sent back down below the goal line. Centering puck, nobody there. Daigle leaves it for Boursier. Boursier wraps up the left-hand side. Doolin tries getting it out, and it ends up back in the Flame zone. Daigle comes cross ice. Finally gets into the neutral zone. Smith puts pressure on it. Wolves come out with it. Here's McNeil. McNeil sends it back to the point. Goes cross ice. Shot attempt. Misses everybody shot by Richards. 2 for the Wolves. And here come the Flames up the right-hand side to Cook. Cook backhands it in the neutral zone, but it doesn't get very far. Both teams making the line change here. 6:34 remaining in the first period. Gauvin behind the net. Sends it up the right-hand side to Kimball, who pushes it up but doesn't get out. Now Johnstone behind the net, putting pressure on. Cook again on the right-hand side. Gets it back to Kimball. Kimball behind the goal line, goes cross ice to Gauvin. Gauvin up the left-hand side. Johnstone tried to get out of the zone with it. She couldn't. Back behind the net again, wrapped up the left-hand side. Gets past Summers, now held in again. Flames kind of pinned in the zone here. Now Kimball behind the net, she's pressured. Johnstone back to help, now Johnstone with it. Johnstone up the left-hand side, sends it cross ice. Finally gets into the neutral zone. It's going to be dumped down. A couple Flames going for a change, but Johnstone's going to continue to put pressure on it. 5:34 now in the first period. Dooland, she's taken down, arm up, and we are going to have ourselves the first power play of the game. At the 5:28 mark, we're going to have a trip on Misha Pino. So we'll have a face-off in the Wolves zone. Flames power play. There. And now the scoreboard says the right period. First period, shot from the point. That's deflected off to the side. Recovered by Gauvin. Pushes it back to Lawrence. Flames working down in the far corner. Johnstone out in front of the net. Flames give it back to Daigle. Daigle at the point sends it back along the side wall. Cross ice. Dooland held into the blue line, but that gets knocked out. Flames will regroup here. Here's Daigle. Daigle, Dooland, Johnstone, Lawrence on the power play. Here's Lawrence now. Lawrence walks in. Lawrence shot. Rebound. Knocked into the corner. Dooland after it again. Backhanded up the wall. Going to be held in by Gauvin. 1 minute even left on the Flames power play. One-time attempt by Daigle. She doesn't get much of that one. I'm sure she'd like to have that one back, and ends up in the corner, but wraps around to Gauvin. Now Gauvin sends a soft one towards the side of the net. Puck down low. 38 seconds now in the Flames power play. Wolves get it out. 3:58 left in the period, despite what my clock says. Yeoman's out to play it. Now 20 seconds left in the Flames power play. Some control, few shots. Three seconds left now. And we are back to even strength. Wolves successfully kill off that power play. Battle along the boards. Refs want to see it played, and they get their wish. Play moves on. Wolves dump it into the Flame zone. Recovered by Kimball. Kimball sends it up the right-hand side. Chipped into the neutral zone and sent right back again. Boursier is going to pick it up this time. Boursier goes to Kimball. Kimball back to Boursier. Gets past her. That's going to go to Folks on the left wing. Folks leaves it for Boursier. Boursier now wraps it around the boards to Kimball. Kimball. She's going to send it back again the other way. And it's back with Folks again. Folks is rubbed off the puck. Gets to the neutral zone. Now we have Eason and Nelson. Nelson backhands it into the zone. Goes to the bench. Now Daigle. Daigle walking in. She stops near the ringette line and dumps it into the corner. Puck down low behind the net. 2:10 left in the period. 8-8 is the shots on goal up on the board. Nothing is your score for the Western Flames here in the first period. Again, both of these teams looking to end 3-game skids. Someone will do it. Backhand from a sharp angle. Yeomans will hang on to that one. And we'll have a face-off to the left of Yeomans with 1:23 left in the first period. Shots on goal showing 10-8 in favor of the Western Wolves. Face-off by Johnstone, won by the Wolves. Shot, that's blocked before it gets to Yeomans. Puck down low behind the net. Johnstone battling for it. Gets up the right-hand side to Cook. Cook centers it to Johnstone. Johnstone and Nelson. Nelson chips it ahead to herself, and she's going to get there first in the corner. Last minute of play of the first period. Here's Nelson and Cook. Cook tried kicking it ahead to herself. Gets into the corner, and Johnstone's going to be there first. Backhands it to the point. Gauvin, long shot. Doesn't make its way through all the bodies. Tied up in the slot. And here comes Duncan. Duncan's going to dump it down. Wolves gone for a change. 30 seconds now left in the period. Shots on goal showing 11-8 in favor of the Wolves. Stevenson backhands it into the Flame zone. Boursier is going to send it around the net to Folks. Folks tries shoveling it up the boards. Contested puck here. 10 seconds now. Fished out by Lawrence. Lawrence centers it to Nelson. Nelson couldn't quite keep a handle on it at the blue line, turned over. And that's going to end the period. After the first period, we have your Western Flames leading 1-0 over the Western Wolves from PEI. Shots on goal, 11-8. I will put you on mute. Run our wonderful thank you to our sponsors between periods, and I will join you back here for the start of the second period. folks, welcome back here for the second period. I have the period up there properly, the score up properly, and all the right logos. We're in good shape here now. 1-0, the Flames lead after the first period here at the Grant Harvey Center in Fredericton. First game of his 2-game set. Second game's tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Join us again here on High Button Sports. I will be with you to call the game. So as I mentioned earlier, both of these teams looking to end a 3-game skid. They've met once so far this season at the Showcase, where the Flames won 3-0. So that's the only matchup between these two teams so far this year, with the Flames getting the upper hand with a 3-0 win. One of 2 Yeoman's shutouts on the season so far. And in the standings, both teams have 4 wins. However, the Flames have played a couple more games. So the Flames are 4-8, while the Wolves are only 4-5. So both teams have 4 wins. Flames, a couple more losses. And right after us tonight, there's lots of activity going on around me and down in the hallways and stuff. Fredericton's new senior hockey team, the Express, play after us here tonight at the Grant Harvey Center. They don't have an official home here in the city due to availability of ice time. They played their home opener last weekend at the LBR, and it was a packed house for the Fredericton Express. A little more space here at the Grant Harvey Center. I think numbers reported somewhere around 1,600 people crammed into the LBR to watch the Express last weekend. So real good support for the new team on the first weekend. We'll see how it goes after they get a couple games deep. But they'll be rotating between a couple arenas with no official home arena. But the Flames, of course, this is their home arena. They're always going to play here. So we're almost 2 minutes into the second period here. The Flames lead 1-0. Shots on goal showing 12-8 in favor of the Wolves. And the puck's held in the Flames zone. Shot attempt, that's blocked by Kimball. I don't know if she knew she blocked that or not. Daggle brings it to the neutral zone, flicks it down. That won't be icing. Wolves regroup. Flames change. Folks, Johnstone, Dooland, your Flames forwards. Puck into the neutral zone. Johnstone's going to chase it, but that's not the way. And we have a hand pass call. So we'll have a neutral zone face-off here after the hand pass. Johnstone will take the face-off. She's got Dooland on the left and Captain Folks on the right. Gauvin and Feltmate on the blue line. Can't quite tell. Always hard to tell from the vantage point up here who's on. Yeah, that is Feltmate. Puck along the wall. Johnstone pushes it in. Offside was signaled, but then waved off. Johnstone again along the boards. She pushes into the zone, but the Wolves recover. Now Dooland in the neutral zone. Johnstone got a stick on it. So did McNeil. Here comes Mills. Mills pushes it into the corner. Feltmate's going to get there first, recover it, send it up the right-hand side. That's chipped. That's going to be icing. And we're going to have ourselves a face-off. Back to the right of Yeomans. And I'm going to get my clock line back up here, so there we go. So just so you know, the clock that I have up on the scoreboard there is not tied directly to the scoreboard in any way. I have to manually keep it in sync, so sometimes it drifts off a little bit. It's usually pretty close, but it's not always going to be 100% precise what the game clock is. If it relies on human error and I'm human, there will be errors. So, puck here in the Flame zone. Gauvin along the left-hand side, sends up left, and we are going to have a slash against Dooland for sure here. That looked like a pretty easy call. So, 16:21 of the second period. We're going to have Dooland in the box for a slash. We'll have a face-off to the left of Yeomans. It looks like Smith and Lawrence will be the Flames penalty killers, along with... Not sure here yet. I can see Daigle and... Borsier. Puck attempted to go back to the point. That's going to get past everybody. Wolves will regroup. Back to Daigle. Daigle, she's going to flip that all the way down. Lawrence is going to chase it. Lawrence gets there first. Tries sending it towards the net, but doesn't. But she has it pinned in the corner. She's going to kill a few seconds here. She's got 3 Wolves down there trying to get it out. Finally get it out. Great job by Lawrence there to burn off a few seconds on the penalty kill. Sharp angle shot. Yeomans directs that to the corner. Cook out there now on the penalty kill. Puck wrapped around the boards. That's going to make its way to the neutral zone. Lawrence heads to the bench. Cook's going to stay on. Here come the Wolves again. Long shot. Yeomans blockers that off to the corner, but a little bit of a scramble by the side of the net. It's wrapped around the boards. It's going to be held in by McQuegan. Daigle hammers that. Makes his way to the neutral zone. McQuegan goes cross ice, goes for a change. Daigle again. Daigle. That one's held in by Gamble. Whoa! That was a hot shot that came into the Flames bench. I didn't turn the camera fast enough, but I think it hit somebody in the head on the bench. It went in there fast and hard. 12 seconds left on the Wolves' power play. Face off to the left of Yeomans, won by the Wolves. Back to the point. Dumped down into the corner. It's going to be retrieved by Gauvin. Gauvin wraps it around. Makes it past the defender. That's going all the way down. And that's the end of the Wolves' power play. We're back to even strength here at the 14-18 mark of the second period. Flames leading 1-0. Shots on goal 14-8 in favor of the Wolves. Flames goal coming somewhat early-ish in the first period by Gauvin from the point, unassisted. And that's all we have in the scoring department here so far today. Kimball sends it up the left side to Dooland. Dooland loses it in her feet, chips it out, doesn't get out. Shot attempt is blocked, and back into the neutral zone we go. Richards tries pushing it through. Doesn't get very far. Bit of a scramble here in the neutral zone. Finally picked up by Mills. Mills to McNeil. Back to the point. Shot attempt by McQuegan. Covered up by Yeomans. And we'll have a face-off to the left of Yeomans. 13-19. Left here in the second period. Both teams going for a full line change. Won by the Flames. Back to Feltmate, behind the net, up the right-hand side. Doesn't get very far. It's sent back behind the net. That's going to be chased by Lawrence and Smith. Pushed back below the Flames goal line again. Feltmate's putting pressure on it. Wolves control it. Back to the point to McPherson. McPherson shot through traffic. Hits a bunch of bodies. McPherson's going to pick that up again. McPherson up to the neutral zone, picked off by Feltmate. Feltmate loses it, picked up by Lawrence. Still in the neutral zone. Finally pushed back ahead. Now Lawrence comes cross ice to Daigle. Daigle comes up the left side to Smith. Smith chips it into the zone. But the Wolves have it below their goal line. Blue line shoveled in here by Feltmate. Flames have to tag up on the delayed offside call. Now Cook. Cook holds it in. Cook, shot attempt. Loose puck in the crease. Fishing for it. That one's whistled down. 12:08 of the second period. Flames still leading 1-0 off the Gauvin goal in the first period. Face off to the left of Crozier. Shots on goal showing 15-9 in favor of the Wolves now. Johnstone wins it on her weak side. Battle along the boards. Shot attempt that misses wide left. Recovered by the Wolves. Held into the blue line by Gauvin. It's going to be recovered by Cook there in the corner. Cook below the goal line. She's got Johnstone with her. They're battle down there. Can't see the numbers. I think that's Murray. Wrapped back around the other side. Cook's going to backhand that and keep it down low. Cook tries dishing it to Johnstone, skips over her stick, and here come the Wolves. Play broken up in the neutral zone. Nope. Continue to push forward. I think that was Finley who cut in there with shot attempt. The jerseys kind of are scrunching up in the pants a little bit. Sometimes it's hard to see at a quick glance who's who out here. Gauvin at the ringette line. She's got it. She's going to send it all the way down. That's going to be icing. And we are at 10:49 of the second period. And we're going to have a face-off back to the left of Yeomans. Shots on goal are 15-9 in favor of the Wolves. But the Flames lead 1-0 off the Gauvin goal in the first period. Johnstone will take the face-off. A Wolves player just left. I didn't catch the number. No icing on this one. So during that stoppage there, while I was talking, one of the Wolves players headed to the dressing room, and a trainer or somebody ran down the tunnel after. Didn't see who it was, so Wolves now down a player temporarily or permanently. Not sure what happened. Maybe just an equipment issue or a skate sharpen, but we'll see. Puck back to the point. Nope, didn't make its way back to Daigle. Here come the Wolves. Picked off by Folks. Folks in the neutral zone. She makes her way into the Wolves zone. Now the Wolves come out. Long shot attempt. Yeomans directs that off to the corner. Now Daigle behind the net. She has a little bit of time. Daigle has a look. She goes up the middle to Lawrence. Lawrence to Dooland. Dooland at the left side. She runs out of room. And we're coming back the other direction. Here come three Wolves. Shot attempt again. Down low. Shot by Stevenson's directed by Yeomans off to the corner. Govan in the neutral zone to Folks. Folks chips it into the Wolves zone. Wolves will regroup. Puck below the Wolves goal line. Stevenson behind the net. Stevenson looks up the right-hand side. Pinched by Govan, keeps it in. Sent back below the line. Smith pressures. Another pinch by Feltmate, keeps it in. And now Finley wraps around the other side, but Daigle keeps it. Hits a pad in front. Weird bounce. In the corner now is Lawrence trying to fish it out. Lawrence sends it back to Daigle. Daigle throws it towards the net. That'll be directed up on high on the glass. Held in on the other side by Feltmate. Dumped into the Flame zone. Boursier looks up the left-hand side. Nobody's there. It's going to go pretty far into the neutral zone. Now back into the Flame zone again. 16-10, the shots on goal showing in favor of the Wolves. 7:53 of the second period. The Flames leading 1-0. Yeomans will cover that one up. And it's 7:45 of the second period. We'll have a face-off to the left of Yeomans. Captain Folks in to take the face-off. Shot attempt from the point by Gamble. Doesn't make its way through anybody. Kind of bounced around. Gamble again. Tries sending it down. Broken up. Shot in tight. Misses wide right. Now up the left-hand side. Dooland gives it back to Gamble. Gamble through traffic. Doesn't make its way through. Here's Folks. Folks to Dooland. Dooland across to Cook. Puck coming all the way down. Icing signaled. Waved off. They do play the hybrid icing here, so if you're not familiar with the hybrid icing, it's a little tough. It's a cross between the old-fashioned chase icing and the automatic icing. So if there's a challenge, basically if there's a challenge for the puck and there's not going to be an imminent kind of risk of injury type of thing, then it could get waved off at the linesman's discretion if the race is going to be won. Okay, it looks like we have our Wolves player coming back to the ice here. Still can't see the number. Number 4, Kayla Mills. She did a little stop check, so I'm guessing she went off for a skate sharpen, but now she's back. So didn't look like an injury. She looks like a skate check. Here comes Daigle. Daigle gets it down deep and recovers it herself after a shot attempt. Daigle loses it. Now a scramble for the puck. Daigle battles again. This one's going to be icing the other way. And we'll have ourselves an icing back in the Flame zone. .557 remaining in the second period. The Flames still leading 1-0. Shots on goal showing 18-10 in favor of the Wolves. Both of these teams looking to break a 3-game winless streak. And the one and only time these two teams met was at the Showcase, where the Flames won 3-0. Johnstone peeled off the puck. She drew a penalty. Yeomans heads to the bench. Johnstone got crunched. Whoa! That was about as scary as it gets. A little backhand by Daigle. Just missed her own net. And the Flames are going to go to the power play at 5:25 here in the second period. So we'll have a face-off down in the Wolves zone to the right of Crozier. Controlled by the Flames here. Shot attempt. Scramble in front of the net. Loose puck. Makes his way back to the point. Kimball comes cross ice to Boursier. Boursier sends it down low. Back to Boursier. Boursier looking at options. Sends it along the wall to Doolin. Doolin drops it back to Boursier. Boursier back down to the corner to Lawrence. Lawrence shot attempt. Deflected off to the corner. Kimball steps up. Gets past her. Race for the puck. Boursier wins that battle. Lawrence recovers. 1:18 on the Flames power play. Here comes Lawrence through the neutral zone. Lawrence, she's going to elect to carry it in over the blue line. Lawrence behind the net. She's knocked off the puck, but Doolin's going to pick it up behind her. Doolin looking to establish control here. Backhands it along the wall. Back to Cook. Cook and Doolin. Now they have space. Cross ice. Shot. Hits a shin pad. Into the neutral zone. Kimball. Kimball sends it up the left side. Skips past the intended target, and we're going to have icing against the Flames. 4:01 of the second period. 36 seconds remaining in the player advantage for the Flames, but they iced it, so we'll have a face-off back here to the right of Yeomans. Nelson takes the draw, wins it back to Kimball. Puck coming up the left side to Dooland. Dooland centers it. Cook. Cook gains his own, dumps it. She's going for a change. Folks. Johnstone. Johnstone. She has it. Tries sending it back to the point. Folks grabs it. Now Folks back along the wall to Johnstone. Johnstone dishes it in the corner to Nelson. Nelson's walking around, sends it back to the point. 11 seconds. Or sorry. I was looking at 11, which is Feltmate. And the penalty has expired. We are back to even strength at 3:14 of the second period. Nelson has it here now in the Flame zone. Nelson has Johnstone. Johnstone has to hold up to not be offside. Now Johnstone heads to the bench. Nelson chases. Lawrence. Now here come the Wolves. Long shot attempt. It's deflected, ends up in the corner. Flipped at the point. Doesn't make it very far, but it's recovered. Shot attempt in close, tight. Misses wide right. Flames send it down. Some time here now. That one ends up in Pino. She dishes it down. Pino sends it all the way down. That's going to be icing. And we are at 2:12 now with the second period. Shots on goal 18-12 now in favor of the Wolves. But the score in favor of the Flames, 1-0. Face-off, won by the Flames. Daigle didn't get much of that one. Didn't get very far. Again, Daigle through traffic. Puck doesn't get through. Now puck chipped towards the Flame zone. Here comes Stevenson. Stevenson, backhand in front by Mills. Loose puck. Picked up. Daigle shovels it down the ice. It's going to be recovered by Pino. Tomorrow, pink in the rink here for the Flames. So they'll be wearing alternate jerseys tomorrow for breast cancer research. So the 50-50 tomorrow, the proceeds will go to the Breast Cancer Foundation for breast cancer research. And the Flames will have on some pink jerseys, which is for sure going to mess me up because I don't believe they have the exact same full set of numbers on those pink jerseys. So tomorrow could be interesting to call, trying to figure out who's wearing what. It's already hard enough trying to figure out everybody's name and number, but we'll see how tomorrow goes. We are at the last minute of play here in the second period. Flames leading 1-0. Shots on goal 20-12 in favor of the Wolves. Puck in the Flame zone. Kimball tries shoveling up the right-hand side to Folks. Folks tries chipping it out of the zone. It's held in. Finally into the neutral zone. Now Folks, she centers it. Now Dooland. Here comes Dooland. Dooland. Little dangle through traffic. Gets shot on. Nothing comes of it. Back to the point. Kimball. Long shot. Crozier will hold on to that one. 28 seconds on the clock. So we'll be back here again tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Same teams, same place. Like I said earlier, both of these teams with 4 wins in the standings, but oh no, I was looking at the, my apologies. I 100% said that wrong. I was looking at the Cape Breton Lynx, who are above us in the standings. The Western Wolves are 1-10. The Western Flames are 4-8. So that's the end of the second period. Flames lead 1-0 after 2. And I will join you back here for the third period. And I'll talk to you then. My apologies. I got tied up on a break and I missed 30 seconds and the Flames scored. So your Flames have taken a 2-0 lead here. I was rushing back. There's unfortunately a lot of activity in here because the senior game is getting queued up. And I was unable, I was rushing to get back here. And there's crowds and there's people trying to stop people gaining access in and out of the arena, and I got kind of slowed down getting back here. So, that was our goal announcement. I think I heard Dooland from Lawrence and Daigle. And your Flames lead 2-0 here early in the third period. And we have ourselves a call. We have a boarding call coming against McAdam. I believe boarding is what I saw the signal was. So we'll have a face-off in the Wolves zone. It's going to be taken by Nelson. Won by the Wolves. Comes back to the point. Held in by Daigle. Daigle to Nelson. Wolves send it down. Shots on goal now 20-16 in favor of the Wolves. Flames have narrowed that gap a little bit. Set up behind the net. The penalty call is indeed 2 minutes for boarding on McAdam. Dump back down. Yeomans is going to play behind the net. Battle down there with Gauvin. Nelson fishes it out. 1:15 now on the power play. Here's Folks. Folks centers it. That's picked off. 1 minute even now in the power play. Folks tries pulling it out in front. Picked up by McNeil. Held in at the blue line by the Flames. Now Johnstone with it along the board. She's knocked off the puck. Here's Dooland. Dooland looks to make a move inside, and that is... Oh. I think I see some... There were some arms up here on the Wolves bench. I mean, from up here, that puck did come outside the blue line, but both linesmen couldn't see it clearly. You could see the line's gesture that they couldn't see, so no offside was called, but it from up here looks like it was. So we're at 32 seconds left in the Flames power play. Discussion between the referees here. Are they going to move it outside? What's the discussion here? Okay, I'm not sure I can make sense of this. So the linesman had missed the offside, but why this has come back to the Flame zone, I'm unsure. I would have expected a center ice face-off at the very least. There's 32 seconds remaining in the Flames power play. Flames leading 2-0. Oh, okay, there was a penalty call there. Okay, there. That explains it. So, okay. We are 4-on-4 for 30 seconds. And then we'll have a Wolves power play for a minute and a half. Dooland on the left side. She can't knock it out. Borsier's battling for it. Now Dooland again. She's knocked off the puck. And it is Daigle for roughing is the call. I didn't see that. I also didn't see the referee signal for it. I thought that had to do about the missed offside, which it didn't. So here's Dooland. Dooland's walking in. She's knocked off the puck. And we now have the Wolves power play for a minute 15. We're at the 16-15 mark of the third period. Flames leading 2-0. Puck off to the side. Lawrence chips into the neutral zone. It's going to be held by the Wolves. Dumped back in. Recovered by Gauvin. Gauvin tries sending it up the left side to Lawrence. Lawrence gets it in the neutral zone, but not very deep. Wolves will recover. Here's Pino. Pino sends it up to the neutral zone. That one's going to be sent down. Bunch of Flames going for a change. 30 seconds left in the Wolves power play. 15:30 of the third period. I'll get that clock lined up with the game clock as soon as we have another stoppage here. McPherson. She's peeled off the puck by Folks. McPherson has it again. She tries sending it up. Makes its way to the ring-out line. Into the neutral zone. There's Boursier. Boursier. She loses control. It's in the neutral zone. Back for Kimball. Now Duncan. Duncan battling with Daigle. Daigle loses her stick. Looked a little frustrated about it, but I don't think there was anything there. Neutral zone battle here. Now Boursier. Boursier is going to try sending it down. That's blocked. Nelson's with her. Nelson and Boursier get it into the Wolves zone. Cross ice here to Thomas. Nelson finally rips it. Nope, that's still not all the way down. Richards goes cross ice for the Wolves. A lot of neutral zone play here. Now Feltmate. She's going to try and gain the red line and dump it in, but that puck goes out of play. And we are at exactly the 14-minute mark of the third period. Face off here by Johnstone against McNeil for the Wolves. Cook in the neutral zone. Dishes it off. Shot attempt. That misses. Along the boards. Cook's battling for it. Cook pins it along the boards. Johnstone and Cook. Shot by Cook. Flames have leveled up the shots a little bit. Shots are 21-18 now in favor of the Wolves. Yeomans directs that one off to the side. Yeomans, 2 shutouts on the season already. I'm not on the bench or anything, but I don't want to be the one that says that S word. Puck deep into the Flame zone. Right wing picked off. Chipped into the neutral zone. Eason tried to get a stick on it. Into the flame zone. Daggle's there. She's battling with Murray. Now Nelson's on the scene. Centering puck. Flames get it out. Nelson. She pushes it all the way down the ice. No icing call. (23-18). The shot's on goal. In favor of the Wolves. Puck behind the Flames' goal. So I had messed up earlier saying that these teams had similar records, but they did not. I was looking at the wrong team. I was looking at the Cape Breton Lynx. Neutral zone face-off here. One thing I do know is that both of these teams are indeed trying to break a 3-game losing streak. Both of them have not won for 3 games, going back to October 4th, before the Thanksgiving break, where no games were played. Shot by Lawrence. Gets high blocker. Second shot attempt ends up in the corner. Here come the Wolves. Into the neutral zone. That's broken up by Daigle. Sent back down. No icing on the play. Battle in the corner. Gamble fighting for it. Won by the Flames. I think that's Chasson. Chasson up the left side to Duncan. Now here comes McNeil. McNeil centers it. Misses the target. Flames recover it. Battle along the wall here in our little bit of a blind spot behind these advertising sponsor banners. Of course, we have to recognize our sponsors and appreciate them, so that's okay. So we're approaching the halfway part of the third period. It's 10:33. Shots on goal have leveled up a little bit. 23-19 is what it shows now in favor of the Wolves. Puck in the neutral zone. Here comes Summers. Johnstone tries to put pressure on it. Back in the neutral zone. Summers. Ends up back with Boursier. Boursier sends it to the neutral zone to Johnstone. Recovered by the Wolves. Long shot attempt. That hits a body. Doesn't make its way through. McPherson, from the point, ends up deep in the corner. Now Johnstone sends that to the left side. Misses Summers. Contested in the neutral zone here. Finally, Gauvin has it. Gauvin, she's looking at her options. She's going to send that down. That's going to be icing. So we are 9:19 of the third period. Flames leading 2-0. Shots on goal, 23-19 in favor of the Wolves. Face off to the left of Yeomans. Won by the Wolves. Player taken down, no call. Here come the Flames. Through the neutral zone. Chip attempt. It's broken up by McGuigan and sent back the other way. Again, no call. It's going to be recovered by Daigle. Daigle reverses it. Nelson should be there first. Nope. It's Smith. Smith reverses it, but nobody's there. Recovered by Stevenson, I think. The jerseys get tucked in pants. It's really hard to see numbers. Shot from the point by Richards. Doesn't make its way through. Down in the corner. Back to Richards again. Richards throws it towards the net. Doesn't make its way through. Here's Mills. Mills along the boards. Sends it back to the point. Down deep in the corner for the Wolves. .805 of the third period. Centering puck. It's to McGuigan. Shot. She misses wide. Richards sends it through traffic. Doesn't make its way through. Richards at the point again. Broken up by Folks. There's Smith. Smith is going to send it down low. Flames go for a full line change. 7 minutes now left in the third period. Feltmate holds that in the blue line, throws it down deep. It's going to be chased by... Can't quite tell. Here's Gauvin. Gauvin in the neutral zone. Pushes it ahead. Walking close, Lawrence. Nice shot by Lawrence in tight. Gauvin fires it towards the net. She misses wide left. Going to be held in. Battle at the line. Finally makes its way to the neutral zone. Here's Gauvin again. Gauvin up the left side. Wolves player got a stick on it. Battle along the boards. Gauvin jumps up, tries pushing it ahead. Again, Gauvin pushes it ahead. Gamble goes cross ice, tries to hit Duncan. Duncan got a little bit of a stick on it, but it ends up down deep in the Flame zone. 6:26 now in the third period. Coming up the right wing in the Flame zone. Cook couldn't get it out. Feltmate pushes it further up the neutral zone herself. Now Lawrence. Lawrence in the neutral zone. She's going to dump it and go for a change. Cook puts pressure on it while the Flames change. So we have Cook and Nelson out here now in Johnstone. Cook throws it on the net. Crozier is going to hang on to that. And we are 6 minutes even in the third period. Flames leading 2-0. The Flames have leveled up the shots now to 23-21 in favor of the Wolves, so pretty close. Johnstone didn't take face-off. She wins it on her weak side. Can't quite tell who's that with that Johnstone there. But the Wolves come out with it. Stevenson comes out with some steam. Sends it back to the point. Shot from the point. Referee lost sight of it. It looked like Yeomans had it. Referee's on the opposite side, so... We'll have a face-off to the left of Yeomans. We will have Lawrence Folks Dooland as your Flames forwards. It looks like McNeil will take the face-off for the Wolves. Won by the Wolves. Back to the point. Shot attempt. It's blocked. Lawrence gets a backhand on it. Chips it up the left-hand side. Wolves with it again. McGuigan. Attempt to shovel it into the neutral zone. That goes out of play, and we'll have ourselves a face-off to the left of Yeomans again. Shots on goal showing 24-21 in favor of the Western Wolves. Face-off to the left of Yeomans. 2-0. The score in favor of the Flames. Looks like Lawrence in to take the face-off. She wins it down. Coming at the right-hand side, comes to Folks. Folks pushes it in the neutral zone back to Lawrence. And it makes its way back into the Flame zone. Coming all the way down. Icing signaled. And icing is waved off. Here comes Pino. Pino chips it deep into the Flame zone. Pino recovers it herself. Dumps and chases to herself. Making his way back to the point. That's McNeil. McNeil goes cross ice to Pino. Someone got a shot in there, but Yeomans directs it off to the side. Here's Lawrence. Lawrence to Smith. Or is it Nelson? Couldn't quite catch the number. No, that's Smith. Puck coming back to the Flame zone. No icing. 4 minutes even left in the third period. Flames still leading 2-0. Shots on goal showing 25-21 in favor of the Wolves. McPherson backhands it through the neutral zone. Ends up deep in the Flame zone. Flames send it down. Touch somebody. No icing. Goalie out to play it. A little bit of a bobble in the corner. Johnstone puts pressure on it, but Wolves recover. Wolves send it back the other direction. This should be icing. So we are at 3:22 of the third period. Flames leading 2-0. Shots on goal 25-21 in favor of the Wolves. Face off in the Wolves zone to the right of Crozier. And Lawrence will go in to take it with Doolan, Folks, Kimball, and I think Borsier. Nope, that's Gauvin. So Kimball, Gauvin, your defense pair, offside here, and we have an offside against the Wolves. So join us again here tomorrow, 11 a.m. Right back here at Grant Harvey. Same teams, same place, same me, calling the game for High Button Sports. Hopefully good quality feed for the game. Seem to have a good internet connection here, so everything seems to be working well. We are at 2 minutes and 30 seconds now left in the third period. Wolves look like they're really pressing here now. McNeil at the point pushes it ahead. That's broken up by, I think it's Cook. Puck in the Flame zone still. Oh, that's going to be potentially boarding or checking from behind against Daigle. So that was, we'll move away here. So I'm not sure if it's going to be a boarding call or a checking from behind call. Very likely a major will be called here. Of course, nobody likes to see this. Certainly there's no intent there, but I expect a major call here, which, depending on the call, could result in a player not in. Yeah, okay. So the player is up. I think it was McPherson. She seems to be okay. She got up under her own power. And left the ice, so that's good. Gauvin, the offender. Eason going to the box to serve the penalty. It is indeed a 5-minute major. Okay, so 2:02 left on the clock. 25-21 shots on goal. Flames leading 2-0. A 5-minute major against Gauvin. I don't think I saw the signal, so I'm not sure if it was a 5-minute boarding or a 5-minute check from behind. So Johnstone, I believe, took the face-off there. It's all tied up. Big scramble in the face-off. Okay, so it was 5 minutes checking from behind. Wolves score quickly on the power play, and I did not catch who scored that goal. So we'll listen in to see who gets it. Of course, 5-minute major, nobody comes out. This got real interesting real quick. So 1:47 left on the clock, 4:45 on the 5-minute major. Nobody comes out, so Wolves have a power play the rest of the way. Maddie Richards, assisted by number 17, Callie McNeil, is the call. 1:28 now left on the clock. Wolves will have a power play the rest of the way, unless they get an infraction of their own. Shot hits shin pads. Flames will send that down. Folks, Lawrence, your penalty killers, working with Boursier and Daigle. Yeomans will hang on to that one. 49 on the clock. 2-1 for the Flames. Face off to the right of Yeomans. Power play for the Wolves. They will take their time out. So like I said earlier, both of these teams on a 3-game skid looking to get back into the win column. The Western Wolves, a 1-10 on the season. Sorry, 1-10-1. 1 win, 10 losses, 1 overtime loss. 13 goals for, 43 goals against. The Flames are 4-8, no overtimes. Sporting 16 goals for and 37 against. Both teams with negative goals for against. The Wolves -30 and the Flames -21. Face off now back to the righty Yeomans. Going to be taken by Lawrence. 49 left in the game. Won by Lawrence. Boursier is going to rip that around the boards, but it's not going to make its way out. Held in at the blue line, sent back down deep into the Flame zone. Daigle has it. She's pinned behind the net. Pops out. Now Boursier. She's got 3 Wolves on her. Boursier, 1-on-3. Killing some clock here. Comes back to the point for the Wolves. Shot attempt by McGuigan. Doesn't get through. Shot again by McGuigan. Misses wide left. 9 seconds now. Flames clinging on. Here comes McGuigan. Through traffic. Misses wide left. Scramble in front. Lawrence chips it ahead. That's going to do it. And the Flames hang on for a 2-0 win here at the Grant Harvey Center in Fredericton. late push by the Western Wolves after the Gauvin check from behind major. So the Flames will break the losing streak, and they'll meet back again here tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. at the Grant Harvey Center. Please join us here on High Button Sports. I will be back with you to call the game. Thanks for joining us again today, and hopefully see y'all tomorrow.